perhaps we need to send Ms. Caldwell and Pastor Gatz around to all of the other campuses to spread the news and to get us off to a good start. It was just beautiful, and we're so appreciative. Thank you very much. Now, the next feature on our program, I'd like for you to stay through this, Dale, if you can. The next feature on our program speaks to to a special guest. Special guest. I knew this a long time ago, but I just didn't want to put it in the program. I wanted to kind of surprise you. And I guess this surprise started many years ago. Back in the late 60s, this area out here was nothing more than pine forest and cow pasture. One of the men who owned a great portion of this land out here is our special guest today. His name is Mr. M.M. Woodley. Back in those early 60s, there was a group of people who must have agreed that they needed to do something to bring some people out here in this cow pasture. So someone must have said, let's see if we can put together some land and offer it to the college for a campus. This is an assumption, but it must have happened because a group of people, some Mr. and Mrs. Elwood Geiger, Mr. and Mrs. Early Johnson, Mr. and Mrs. Charles F. Johnson, and then a company known as the North End Company. The officers in that company at that time was Mr. M.W. Hollins and Mr. Don Zell, along with a bachelor, Mr. M.M. Woodley, somehow talked together and went through a process of putting pieces of land together, which resulted in the 162 acres on which the #1 campus now sits. And these people donated that land. And I understand that even though the others had a piece here and a piece there and a piece there, there was one man who had a piece that it just wouldn't work out unless he gave his piece, because it would not, the pieces of land would not be congruent to each other unless he had his piece. And so this was Mr. M.M. Woodley's piece. So the deal would not have flown at all if Mr. Woodley had not agreed to donate his section of land for this purpose. And so he had the biggest section too. So it probably was very interesting back in those days. I kind of wish I could have looked over the shoulders and heard some of the discussions that must have gone on in trying to put this together, because Mr. Woodley is a very interesting person. Mr. Woodley last Wednesday celebrated his 92nd birthday, and he is a very interesting person. When I came to the North Campus a few years ago, Bo Cotton told me, as soon as you get all squared away, and there's somebody you've got to meet. And so the first year, the first few months I was here, I met Mr. Woodley. And since that period of time, we have stayed in touch with each other. I used to visit with him as he rode his bicycle up and down the roads out here and through the campus occasionally. I think he stopped riding at about 90. He told me today he finally gave up his driver's license. But he's still a very interesting person, still very interested in and proud of what has happened to the North Campus as a result of his gesture many, many years ago. He comes from South Carolina. He lived briefly in New Mexico and North Carolina. He used to work with the Duval Motor Company. That was where he kind of got his start, his finances together. And he had this vision of buying land, especially land that was outlying land. He said because the taxes were low and it just seemed smart at that time. So he'd buy it and he'd sell it. And he always said he tried to be honest because he liked to sleep well at night. And he said a man's got to live right in this world if he's ever going to go anywhere. He said that his family was college bred and they tried to get him to go to college. But he said he'd be darned if he was going to go up to college for 4 years because he's going to get out in the world and help run it. Of course, he also said that's probably why it's in such a mess now. They told him that if he studied hard and be a good boy, they'd send him to college. But that just wasn't what he was interested in. He wanted to get out and to do his thing. He speaks about some of the homespun philosophy that they told him, his parents told him, for example, they told him, said, now you be a good boy, you pay the preacher, and behave yourself, and you'll have a successful life. So I kind of think he must have done those things because he certainly had a successful life. He lives just a few blocks from the campus, and there's a building on this campus named for Mr. Woodley, as you all know, the A building, child care and so forth. That's the Woodley building. There's a plaque on there, the Woodley building. And I just thought the other day, he said, gee whiz, we've just got to do what we've never done before. We've got to bring Mr. Woodley on campus and let him share a moment with the family here and let him know that in retrospect how much we appreciate his gift of many years ago. He must have known a long time ago that Zeke rather need a place to work here. Mr. Woodley, we'll let him come up to the... Mr. Woodley said, you're going to make him think he did something after a while. Mr. Woodley, you know, we're going to do something that we have never done before. I tell you, there aren't too many things we've never done before, but we have 14 years behind us. We're now in our 15th year at this campus which you made possible, which you gave to the college. For the first time, we are going to sing happy birthday to somebody on this stage. That's never happened before. So we're going to sing happy birthday to you. How about that? All right, 92 years old 92. And still going strong.
I hope so.
Yes, sir.
You're going to help sing, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to help sing. All right, I see Jerry bugged out on me. But let's go with happy birthday, Mr. Woodley, one round. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. Woodley. Happy birthday to you. Oh, what do we have here? There you go. Let's start right here so you get a picture. Well, this is the first time that this has ever happened. There you have the North Campus family standing and applauding you and wishing you happy birthday. God bless you, Mr. Woodley. Many returns of the day. We appreciate everything you've done for the college. Thank you.
Appreciate the invitation to be here tonight. I want to say it gives me great pleasure.
I don't know Mr. Woodley want to make a speech.
No, I don't want to make a speech, but I say I appreciate the honor of having been invited to be here, and it gives me great pride and pleasure as I ride back and forth and see the progress that this building has been able to create. and the work that these two men who headed, Dr. Weigel and Dr. Bryant, to them goes great credit, and I do mean great credit.
God bless you. Okay, we're moving along. If we can leave here today